Whiskey friends, far and wide, we are live. What's up, y'all? Happy Tasty Tuesday. I'm Eric, your humble malt muser. I forgot to give you guys the opening video. Forgive. I am beaming my signal from Chicago, Illinois on a nice 40-some degree day here in Chicago, almost 50. Basically summertime. Enjoying a little dram to get warmed up. Great to see folks in the chat already. Ponying up to the old virtual bar. We got an interesting show tonight. I'm excited to get after it. So why waste any more time? Let's jump in and do this. First in the door tonight, it is our good friend up in Duluth, Mr. French. Hello, good people. Curious about tonight's program, which I am watching from the sun deck on a warm 32-degree evening in Duluth. Yeah. Things are looking good here in the Midwest, man. It's honors here. Northern California. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, sir. I have a psychotic Winston the Whiskey Cat waiting in the wings. We may see him later. Or he's going to knock everything over. Folks saying hi. East Texas is in the house. Daniel H. What up, man? How you doing, buddy? Daniel got some good whiskeys I saw on Instagram. I'd be curious to hear about those. Anything poured yet? Hey, the suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia. It's IC86. What up, man? Cool. We'll see you. Oh, Donner's got some... got the night off. All right. Good to have you in the house, man. Good to have you here. Folks, little cross chat going. Jupiter, Florida's in the house. Mr. G. Gerbic, how are you? Daniel's starting things off with a Kilhome and Bourbon influence batch. Oh, yes. Definitely going to want to hear what you think about that one, sir. I am hoping that I end up liking it a little bit more. I didn't find it all that great, but, it don't really matter. To each his own. Maybe it'll hit you different than it hit me. Mine is opening up right now. It was a little bit above average for me, around that 3.25 range, I believe. Not bad stuff. Forgive me, I'm a little low energy tonight. I'm dealing with some strange allergies, so pardon me on that. Quad Cities is in the house. What up, Chris? How you doing, man? Sending his signal from the other side of the state of Illinois. Pass. Only Glen Moray core range I've had is the 18. Non-chill fill maturation and ex-bourbon. They have a big range below 40. Yes, they do. Los Angeles, SoCal. We all know who's there, right? He's one of the two malt mongrels out in Southern California. What's up, brother? It's Cohen. Greetings to all. Well, good to see you, sir. So the small batch 2 at Wally's over the weekend. Oh, those USA batches aren't bad. I've had 3 and 5. 3 was fantastic. Really, really good stuff. Starting out with the Orchard House. I gotta get my hands on that one. I tasted it. I thought it was pretty good. And it was a good price. Price is going to be something that's going to be a topic tonight. So we're going to be chatting all about that. And speaking of Southern California, the other troublemaker out there somewhere in the City of Angels, it's James Chang. James, great to see you, sir. Great to have you in the house. Michael Besley's here as well. What up? Michael, we got 12 in already, man. Let's do this. Always good to have you in, sir. Kenneth, just got done doing my civic duty. Did you already rate the pour? Hell, I have not, sir. We are just getting warmed up here. I'm going to be getting into that in just a few minutes. Great to have you. Texas, if I'm not mistaken. And Michael Besley, forgive me. I know you have shared where you're at before. If you wouldn't mind reminding me again, would love to give you a shout out. We got a lot of folks here in North America. A few Canadians. Let's do it. Daniel's a fan of the Orchard House. Good stuff. Was there voting going on down in Tennessee? Or I'm sorry, in Texas? Oh, there you go. All right. Here comes the Canadian crew now. Paul, Montreal. What up, man? Great to see you, sir. Ontario's here. Debating on the Lager 12, the price of it is, man. I'm telling you, those whiskeys are so good. I love those Lager 12s, but it's getting to the point where they're like $150, $160. Some of them are more than that. I'm like, man, just a couple of years ago, I was like, ooh, I don't want to pay $125. There you go. Yes, Maryland's checking. Okay, great. That's right. I will remember that, my friend. Thank you. Mirador is awesome. Okay. Yeah, that was a good one. I actually saw that recently. All right, y'all. So here's what's going on tonight. You know, last week we did a really fun, rare. Hey, Norway. Matt. Good to see you, man. How you been? It's great to have you in the house, brother. Last week we talked about a world whiskey, an Amrut, a rare Amrut, an expensive Amrut at that. Tonight, man, we're going to flip the script a little bit here because this is a long overdue thing for me, and I really want to get into this. So we got a whiskey that we're going to be talking about tonight, and it is called the Glen Moray Sherry Cask Finish from the Elgin Classic line of Glen Moray. Or Glen Moray. I'm not really sure how they say it. I'm going to say Glen Moray. Whatever. We're going to check this whiskey out. We're going to uncork it. We're going to give it a tasting. See what it's all about. I also got a sample. So as I've been kind of telling folks, I'm going to try and do a second tasting on a lot of these live shows on Tuesdays of samples that folks have sent. I appreciate the generosity from so many folks out there in WhiskeyTube who have sent me some stuff to taste. And so, I'm going to definitely do my best to get a tasting or two in of some samples. So this should be really good. Okay. Without further ado, let me get this thing uncorked and poured. So we're going to talk a little bit. All right. Oh, that came off quick. Okay. Nice cork. This is off to a good start already, you guys. We're going to talk a bit about Glen Moray, whatever. And why the hell am I drinking this whiskey tonight? So, here's the deal. Okay. First of all, Glen Moray, this is not an expensive whiskey. They are a Speyside distillery. They actually make a lot of whiskey. I think they're in the higher end of volume per year. And much like distilleries like Deanston, Tomatin, they seem to put out something for every damn cask you can think of. So when you're at your local store, you're going to find a Glen Moray rum. You're going to find a Glen Moray, this, that, and whatever. Because there's just so damn many cask finished versions of this. They have a peated version. They have a bourbon cask, so on and so forth. There's a whole freaking line of these things, okay? This whiskey, it's a single malt. It has no age statement. It's 40% ABV. It is most definitely chill filtered, and it is most definitely has fake color added to it. Everything that we talk about not wanting to spend money on for a single malt Scotch whiskey, this whiskey is bringing to the table. But here's where I think this is going to be interesting. So this whiskey is literally $23.99 here in Chicago. And that's in Chicago. Okay. Things are a little bit more expensive here than many other parts of the country, I'm sure. But we literally, every time I go to, there's a local chain store called Benny's here. There's just a whole row of all these Glen Morays. I have had some of the independent high-end stuff courtesy of samples sent by Donner Pass Whiskey and I believe Greg's Whiskey Guide over in Paris, who I visited when I was there. He sent me something. But there's a whole bunch of these at the store. And I'm sure, like a lot of you don't give this distillery a second guess or a second look, I should say. Why? Because of everything we just said, right? Yeah, it's cheap, but it's probably cheap for a reason. It's 40% ABV. You can't go any lower than that. It's clearly got fake color. There's no age statement on it. They chill filter the hell out of it. What is this stuff? I mean, this is like a cheap blend, right? Well, we're going to find out tonight just how good or how bad this really is. My hypothesis is that this is going to punch above its weight. So let me tell you a little bit here. So this is the sherry cask finished version. Now, a little bit of sleuthing on the internet revealed that most of these whiskeys of theirs that have no age statement, they're probably in that 7 to 8 year old range. They do have some age stated whiskeys out there on the market. Winston, are you good, man? He's got the zoomies. They have a 12. I think Donner Passengers have an 18. I mean, they got some age stated stuff. They're also like the only, I think they're owned by this, they're owned by some type of French company. They're not owned by any of the big conglomerates. They're kind of doing their own thing. They're owned by the same company that owns some of the blends, Cutty Sark, for example. It's called like Martiniquoise or something like that. I'm not even going to pretend I can know how to say it. It's French. Okay. Anyways, here's the box. Their font is pretty horrible. Let's be real. It looks pretty cheap, right? Glen Moray Speyside Single Malt Scotch Elgin Classic. So this is the Elgin Classic line. They also have an Elgin Heritage line, a bunch of other stuff. So here's what it's got to say here. Producing single malt Scotch whiskey since the 19th century from Elgin, this capital of Speyside. This craft of producing this elegant and well-rounded single malt has been passed from generation to generation, blah-de-blah. Tasting notes on the back, but there's a quote up here from the master distiller that says, quote, intense Oloroso sherry flavors. Married with sweet vanilla oak to produce a whiskey which has a wonderful depth of character. Okay. Product of Scotland, all that jazz. Here's the bottle. Again, they have a bottle, one of these NAS bottlings for every type of cask you can imagine. There's not much more information on here than what I just shared with you. Double matured, selected from the finest American oak barrels and finished in Oloroso casks, specially selected by our master distiller from the Jerez region, sherry producing region of Spain. So very, very classic. Okay. All right, y'all. So look, every once in a while, I think that it's good to check in with some of these whiskeys. Thank you, Paul M. Yes, that is the name of the company. I cannot pronounce that. Martiniquoise, maybe. That's the company that owns them, and this is the only single malt distillery they own. Again, they own Cutty Sark. I think they own another blend out there. Anyways, I do think every once in a while it is a really good thing to have some of these more, dare I say, youthful, I don't know, the cheap stuff to kind of both remind your palate on how far your whiskey journey has come, and because you can sometimes find unexpected gems for those nights when you come home and you want to just have a nice, easy dram. Doesn't need to be all thrills, or you want to have people over, you want to introduce them to Scotch. You don't got to break the bank. Nice, cheap daily sipper that has some character and substance. We're going to find out tonight, at least in this sherry cask version, if Glen Moray, Moray, whatever, I'm going to say it different every time, can live up to that standard. Again, I paid $23.99 for this bottle here in Chicago. You may find it for $25, $26. You may find it for cheaper. I don't know. But this is I don't think you can find single malt whiskey cheaper than this, really. And apparently they're all about presenting this and in a way with, again, a variety of different finishes. And honestly, look, it may not be the prettiest looking thing, but if this is a decent whiskey, like in the world we're living in now with these increasing prices all the time, with the demand getting higher, I mean, maybe these distilleries are going to be worth a second look. So without further ado, Glen Moray sherry cask finish, I present to you. Let's do this, y'all. that is the fake colored whiskey that you are looking at. It does not look very sherry, but we will find out. Maybe a little bit. I mean, not much. There's a finish. We don't know how long it's finished. We don't know how old this is. We don't know much anything. All we know is it's bourbon and sherry. Okay. So what are other bourbon and sherry whiskeys out there? Let me know in the chat. Bourbon, sherry, kind of a classic combination. What are your favorites, your go-tos in that? Macallan 12. I'm sorry. Balvenie 12 is a classic example. There's a bunch of them out there. Where's this one going to fall? I'll tell you right now, this is it's got that nice orange haze to it. It does not, I mean, it almost looks like juice. Legs, a little bit. Okay. Let's see what they got to offer here. On the nose. Fresh. Oak. Sweet. There's a bit of fruit quality to it. No surprise there. It's definitely on the sweeter side of the sherry spectrum. This is not a very dark or deep whiskey. Fresh cut oak. Bit of kind of like allspice kind of thing going on. Vanilla. Maybe there's a spice. There's a decent amount of spice. Give me just a second with this. Like I said, I'm having some allergy stuff going on, so my nose is a little bit off. So the nose is not bad. It definitely doesn't have a lot of depth, but I'll tell you what it does have, and that's a nice kind of somewhat complex, reasonable presentation. The youthfulness is subtle. They've done a decent enough job kind of masking it over. But all in all, relatively pleasant, kind of standard sherry bourbon mix. No real bells and whistles. No real surprises here. I'm surprised, actually, I should take that. The one thing I'm surprised at is it is a bit it's a bit woody, which I think is because they're probably using pretty tired casks, right? Okay, y'all. Well, here we go. Glen Moray, Elgin Classic, Sherry Cask finish. Happy Tasty Tuesday, y'all. Slanch. Very palatable. Obligatory 2 tastes. Okay. Well, I'm surprised. Mouthfeel on this is rather on the light side. No surprise there. Initially, it's sweet. It's apple cider. It's more like apple juice. But as it develops, a couple things really come out, and I have to say they have some staying power and really kind of enhance the mouthfeel. There's a nice kind of toffee note, like more like on the butterscotch honey side. Maybe not toffee, more butterscotch and honey. There's a bit of, again, oak spice, but it isn't as prominent as it was on the nose. There's some nice milk chocolate note, light. Again, none of these are very deep, heavily defined notes. They're kind of just all around it, right? The vanilla is there. This is a creamy, sweet, lighter whiskey. Development's not bad. It hangs around for quite a while. As it goes into the finish, you get a little bit of it drops off without a ton of fanfare, but you're left with a nice kind of pleasant, almost fruitcake note, kind of like Christmas spice or a Christmas cake. Little bit of vanilla. It tastes kind of like a vanilla ice cream because it is rather creamy. Honey, toffee, light brown sugar. The sherry notes. I will say the bourbon comes through a lot of this. The sherry notes are there. It's very sweet. Like the sherry doesn't have a ton of that kind of dynamic. It's not very dynamic. It doesn't have a ton of definition. It's just giving it kind of like a little bit of a red fruit tinge, and it comes in the form of cherry. So it's like maraschino cherry. It's like strawberry, kind of in that range. Look, this isn't that bad. In fact, I think this is actually not bad at all. Let me do a couple more sips and eat here. And let me know in the chat, has anybody had any of these NAS Glen Morays before? If somebody poured this for me, I would not be disappointed. I would say, hey, this is not a bad whiskey, which is more than I thought I would say about this. It doesn't have a ton of complexity. It doesn't have a lot of wow, but I mean, this isn't the Balvenie 12 Double Wood, okay? But this is 3 bottles of this, or 1 bottle of the Double Wood. The other thing I'll mention is that this is the type of sherried whiskey where I feel as though you can really move on to other things without it ruining your palate. And I think that is very much due to the fact that it's just kind of a light, easygoing, easy sipping whiskey. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Look, it's got some character. I think you take a nice big taste of this. I'll tell you right now, this is not going to get a bad score. In fact, we're going to do a quick comparison after this with another whiskey that I think is an incredibly great value buy, and that is the Naked Grouse. So we're going to pour a little bit of that. We'll do a side by side. We'll see what we think. But I'll tell you right now. Look, I expected this to be a lot worse. When you drink a real cheap bourbon, and it is just freaking bad, right? I mean, it's hot, it's astringent, it's got no real character, it's alcohol driven. None of that's going on here. Despite, those are usually both at 40%. None of that is happening in this. What you're getting here is actually a decently crafted sherry finished whiskey. I'm not upset about it. I'll tell you what, I've spent money on whiskeys that are far better that I overpaid for, that I feel like this is every bit worth $20 some dollars. I'll tell you that right now. Here we go with some water. This is where we make it interesting, right? Again, nice bouquet on the nose. It's like drier sherry notes starting to come through with the water. Good. It's not cloying. A little bit of that wood char. Again, kind of pear, ripe, juicy kind of apple notes. Here we go. Okay. The water dulls it a little bit. We don't need to put water on this. it kind of takes away some of the character. It really rounds everything out to its detriment. Everything's kind of flatter now. I wouldn't put water on. Yeah, the finish. You get some of that fruit cup, tinned fruit note. I don't really like. Yeah, I wouldn't put water on this. It takes it away. This is a neat. It makes it a neat. This is a neat only whiskey, in my opinion. And a decent one at that, y'all. Look. So let's think here. When we're thinking about some of the kind of bourbon matured single malts out there with sherry cask finishes, we've got our La Santas. Those are around $50. Double wood Balvanese, $65. No, this is not either of those two. But what I'll tell you is, if you had a bottle of this around, you'd be surprised. You might grab and have a couple of drams. This is a good starter whiskey. I'm actually interested in trying a few more of their of these whiskeys. I cannot vouch for what they do to this whiskey. Yeah, there's no fucking age statement. There's just no. I mean, this is the most uncraft presentation you can expect. But look, Glenn, they're clearly not trying to win prizes for whiskey of the year, right? What they're instead doing is they're trying to put out a decent single malt at a good price. And these days, the inflation with the crazy costs of single malt whiskeys increasing. Look, man, this is not bad. And this was also something that I would tell somebody who's just getting into Scotch. Look for this. The sherry version. I'm sure the peated version is probably interesting. They have a million of these. Look, so I'm going to give it a solid 3, which is an average score. You know, if you're a person who does the 100-point scale, this is in that 80. I mean, I would lean this is in the 81, 82 range. It's not great. It's not bad. The price on this really does, I don't fluctuate my scores much more than 0.25 based on price. I mean, this is definitely getting the boost on the price because come on, show me any other whiskey, Scotch whiskey in the $25. This is just as good probably as any Glenlivet 12. I don't think there's that much difference here. In fact, I think this is probably a little bit better. So if you're looking for a bargain whiskey, something that's going to really give you some Scotch character, and something that's going to not break your bank, man, this ain't bad. I'll give it a solid 3, and I'm not even going to lie about it. I got no problem with this. So there you go. We'll do a little comparison with the famous Grouse, or with the Naked Grouse, which I almost guarantee is going to kick this thing's ass. But the challenge that I would offer to people on something like this, because I think much like you all, when I first, I've overlooked this stuff so many damn times. What would be fun to do is get yourself a bottle of this along with some of your other whiskeys, sherry, bourbon, scotches, and do a blind tasting. And I'd tell you this, I would just be really curious if this comes up, where this falls in your blind tasting. Get a La Santa, get a blah, 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 find a couple that are, reasonably priced. And then think about the fact that this whiskey is coming in at like $35, $40 cheaper. I'm not going to give it to any of y'all as a Christmas gift. And for you Patreons, next week, I'm going to announce the raffle. First raffle of the year of the whiskeys that I'm going to be putting in samples to appreciate y'all. I will not include this in it. So don't worry. This isn't I'm not just like juicing the score to give you guys a shit whiskey or something. I'm not going to do that. We already know the Amroot Spectrum is going to be part of that. I'll have 2 others that are going to be part of that as well, which I will announce next week. But you know what? Let me grab that Naked Grouse and catch up on the chat because, I've been rambling a bit here. So give me just a second. Where is that? Oh, there it is. So this is, I think, the gold standard of bargain sherry Scotch whiskeys. This is a blended malt. It is not a blended, just a blended Scotch, right? And this is all first fill Oloroso sherry. Okay. There's no age statement on it. It's 43%, which is nice. I actually don't think. Let me check. So the reason that it's a blended malt is because, of course, unlike a blended Scotch, which can include non-malt whiskeys, this is all malt whiskey. I thought perhaps it was non-chill filtered, but that would have been probably guessing, or just hoping. It doesn't say anything about that. But this is the Naked Grouse. This goes for about $25 to $30. Okay, you're getting a little bit more ABV than this Glen Moray. It is a blend, though. I mean, but the color alone. I mean, obviously, this is all first fill sherry. Again, first fill. This is all first fill Oloroso. $30. Okay. Blended malt, blah, blah, blah. And only selected single malts make the cut. I just got to double check, y'all, because I swear to God, I thought this thing was, it said non-chill filtered. It doesn't. Looks good. Killer nose. This is another one I would defy people to put into a blind tasting with some of your other fully sherried whiskeys. I think it'll show up nice. Fresh, bright, more depth, good spice, richer, immediately on the nose. I'm not even going to, why? I don't even need to go that far enough. I mean, this is a vastly superior whiskey. If you want a full sherry bomb, this is the one. If you want a little bit more, I don't want to say complexity, diversity of flavor, yeah, this Glen Moray ain't bad. These are both $30 or less, y'all. And they're both very competent, delicious whiskey. Naked Grouse, easy a 3.5 for me, if not higher. I would probably venture to go 3.75 if this finish would last a little bit longer. But we'll save scoring this for another day. But I'll tell you right now, this is a good thing to see. I mean, there's decent single malt Scotch. There's decent blended malt Scotch. There's decent malt whiskey out there that is not going to break your bank. And if you want to just sip on something that didn't cost you $300 or $200, you look, this Glen Moray sherry cask finish, not bad. We'll try another one of these days. I'll keep an eye out for they have a peated one. They have a bourbon cask. They have a 12. I think periodically we'll splice a few of these in, because again, I think this is a reminder of where your palate is and how far you've come. And honestly, it's not bad. It's really not. It's not disappointing. I mean, you can't be disappointed in this because you're paying less, you're paying $25 fucking dollars for it. How can you be disappointed in this? For a single malt? So look, I kind of like what they're doing. They're saying, hey, there's a hole in the market. We're going to provide cheap single malt Scotch whiskeys with variety of finishes. I'll tell you right now, I would put this up against any of those tomatins. Sure. And the tomatins are double the price. Easily. Diamond in the rough? I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking about this and catch up on the chat. We got 18 folks in. I'm sorry, y'all. I realize I rambled a little bit. But I'm quite pleased with this for what it is. All right, here we go. Glenallachie 12, yeah. Looks like right? Yeah, the color on this leaves a lot to be desired. Well said, Peter White. Balvenie single barrel 12. I really enjoy it, but it feels over. Yeah, I don't think that's a bourbon sherry though. I think that one's all bourbon barrel, right? Am I correct on that? The 12. It's got a very kind of old world, old school flavor to it. It is a little bit on the pricey side, man. When those were around $70, I really enjoyed that whiskey. Dunner Pass would be interesting to see how Glen Moray 12 did side by side with Glen Moray. I agree with you. I don't think there's anything in this is an NAS, and I'll tell you, I think this is more impressive than a lot of NAS whiskeys that I've had. This isn't bad at all. I mean, for like Space Ciders, right? This is for example, this is way better than the Glenlivet Founders Reserve, which comes in at about $35. Guarantee it. If you gave me those blind every single time, I would choose this every time. At Malt Musar, I really like the Kilchoman bourbon influenced batch. It's much better with water. It's all Kilchoman malt with the traditional honey, lemon, smoke, and spice notes. Water adds a slight creaminess. Well said. You know, as you all know, man, I really do think I need to like be even choosier with my Kilchomans because it's just one of those distilleries that just doesn't quite do it for me. So it's hard for me to score. I think it's just something about their malt, the way it lands with me. I just always, with the exception of the Loch Gorm and the Cask Strength Mocker Bay, I've just never really found a Kilchoman that I just like. The rest of them have been mostly misses. You know, I got this USA Batch 3. It's like Sauternes. Like, I don't ever feel like drinking it. I don't really feel like drinking that one. I don't, and what it's telling me after all this time is that I really just think this is just a distillery that I just don't really love their character or their profile. I tried the Fino, like I want to like it because it's like a nice Isla farm story. I love it. It just doesn't do it for me. It's just like Talisker. You know, Talisker is the you know, if I never drink Talisker 10 again in my life, I will not lose a wink of sleep over it. It is what it is. I think we all probably have. That'd be interesting. It's not that they're bad distilleries, so we want to be real distinct. I don't want to like start a let's bash certain distilleries parade, but I would be curious in the chat if folks want to share. There are distilleries that like some or most of the whiskeys you have. It's not that they're bad; they just don't register with you. You know, I used to say Kalila was one of those for me. It's not anymore, but it's close. But yeah, for me, it's Talisker. I think Kilchoman is part of it. You know, yeah, they just don't quite do it for me. The Taliskers that I do like, I liked the 18. I liked the Distiller's Edition quite a bit, but that's because it's tastes nothing like Talisker. The 10, no. The Dark Storm, no. The Storm, no. The Port Rouge or whatever. I just don't like Talisker that much. You know, is what it is. I don't bash them though. I wouldn't say they make bad whiskey. I would just say they don't make whiskey that I particularly enjoy. And I think there's a lot of folks who have whiskeys that they don't enjoy. So, you know, to each his own. Most people think the Talisker 10 is like one of the best, you know, life-changing whiskeys that they try. And, you know, I've had a couple bottles, just doesn't do it for me. And honestly, I'm feeling the same way about Kilchoman. Again, I like everything about their distillery and that they're actually getting a ton of money pushed into their distillery. And a couple of $20-some million. They're going to be increasing their output by 40% over the next couple of years. Their Loch Gorm is really damn good. I don't think I've never really liked the Sanig. I find the regular Mocker Bay isn't very interesting. I've had the Fino. I didn't really like it. I've had some of those single casks. All of them have been mostly disappointing to me. The USA Batch 3 was good with the port. The USA Batch 5 with the Sauternes, kind of disappointing. I have a bunch still that I haven't even opened. It's some of the Isla barley or the 100% Islas. It's because I see them and I get excited. I'm like, oh, this sounds great, but this doesn't do it for me. So it isn't. Again, it is not a. I would never bash the distillery. And honestly, I'm thinking I need to be even more sparse with my reviews of it because I just, for whatever reason, for me, it doesn't seem to be a whiskey that. It seems to be a whiskey that just mostly misses for me, and I don't know why. It's just my palate. There's something about their distillate and stuff that it just always leaves me wanting. So whatever. Anyways, let's move on. We got 22 folks in, which is great. Peter White had a long finish. You're talking with Glen Moray. I would take Kilholman over Glen Moray. On the fence about picking up Jack Rose ECBP private barrel just released. I have a few bottles already, so it doesn't say. You have a few bottles of the Jack Rose. Okay, first of all, there's a Jack Rose ECBP. You're saying you have a few bottles of that one already? If that's the case, no, I mean, I guess not, but I've had some really great picks from them. Blanton's. I have a couple. I have a Bunnahabhain pick of theirs. I think there's something else too. I mean, it's fucking Jack Rose. I mean, creme de la creme, in my opinion. But yeah, be curious what they sell and how old they're. I know, I'm seeing all these ECBP private barrels, very exciting, but also the age statements on them are low. I mean, it's not like. Well, not all of them, but it's not like the barrel picks you see of like Knob Creek single barrel where like they're all at least 9 years old, if not older. I'm seeing ECBP barrel picks on secondary from these private barrels that are like 7, 8 years old. And the standard release is 12. So, we'll see. Yeah, 100% agree. Great stuff. Yeah, totally. It's totally fine. This is a totally fine whiskey. I can, there's a lot that the thing is it just doesn't disappoint because I paid $23 for it. If I paid $50 for this, I'd be like, fuck, it'd be like Dalmore, Glenfarclas or something. Oh, Aberlour, talk about disappointing. Anyways, the famous Grouse, Naked Grouse is a superior product by far. I highly recommend this whiskey to anybody who likes a nice sherry bomb. It doesn't have a great long finish on it, but this is a real good bargain whiskey. As for the Glen Moray, well, I'm going to drink some more about it. Yeah, not bad. I'll be visiting Heaven Hill in April and have an opportunity to try and buy a distillery only ECBP. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do it. Yeah. Oh, Del Monte. Yeah, he does say that, doesn't he? Yeah. I don't think this is bad. Peter Woods is something I wouldn't expect you to. Yeah. For the seasoned whiskey heads, I mean, this, you're already used to not buying cheap stuff, so why would you? But for people just getting into this, man, this is, look, if you got a friend in your life who's just like starting to get into Scotch, this is a great place. I might not even be able to think of a better starter set of whiskey. Buy them 3 Glen Morays. Get them a sherry, get them a bourbon, get them the peated, one of the other 9,000. Just let them have at it. See what their palate is, because they're not bad. It's just not bad. Hey, that's all good, man. Great to have you back. Solid 3. Yeah, seriously. Take the cost out of the equation. This is like, it's slightly below average. 275.25. Yeah. Dude, exactly. No. The naked part refers to the fact that, well, you know what? Let me tell you exactly what it says. So we call them naked casks because it's the first time they've ever held whiskey. So it's literally because they're first fill. So that's the naked part. It's all first fill sherry casks that they use for this. So that's the naked version of it. Yes. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I mean, I don't know any other single malts in like the $30 range that have sherry finishes. I mean, maybe a tomatin. There's probably a tomatin out there, but I don't know. Yeah, man, I don't know. Go see what like whiskey wash or malt reviews or something. Some of the blogs have to say about Glen Moray. If you don't take my word for it, they might have some ideas about it. I have not heard that. I hope not. Hey, Belgium's in the house. What up, Whiskey Lovers Society? How are you, sir? Great to see you, man. Hope everything is well. All things considered over there in the European continent. Yeah. Oh shit! Really? If you see if you see the ones that look like this on the shelf with the embossed grouse on it and stuff, buy these up. If that's the case. Thanks for the heads up on that, Cohen. Yeah. Looks like this is the problem with naked grouse is that its experience whiskey tasters may find it to be fun. I agree with you. I agree. Yeah. I mean, it is. I think it's a little bit bland, but again, like for you got to start your flight somewhere. You're going to do a sherry flight, great palate starter. Great palate starter. Only 9 likes. Oh, no, we should do something about that. Smash that like, y'all. Or they're like, dude, Eric, you've lost your mind talking about Glen Moray sherry finishes. What are you thinking? Yeah, get at me. I'll try the Glen Moray 21. I'm not have that one. Offload the Russells. Oh man, are you on? Hey, if you're looking to offload whiskeys, especially those, shoot me an email, man. Malt.muser@gmail. I can point you in the right direction. Yeah, I mean, look, like the 18 I thought was actually really tasty, and I actually don't mind. I've not had that Talisker 15 or the 8, but you talked about Kilhoman. We talked about offline and that 13-year-old cast, though. I need to get it off my ass and send you a sample already. Yeah, Gary. What up, Gary? Frisco Bay Area Hellscare 8 is good. Cast strength, right? Hey, thanks, IC86. Appreciate you guys hitting that thumbs up, man. And this might not be the most interesting show for everybody, but I do want to make sure that if there are new folks who are checking stuff out or come across this, that we're talking about some regular everyday whiskeys too. Hey, New York City, hard to hate on Kilhoman and Diageo in the hand. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'm not hating on them. And actually, I think I got to give. You're right. I will concede that. I'm not going to pretend I haven't called out distilleries. I have. So yes, good point, James. Glenn Farkless. The thing, they're probably one. I mean, Dalmore, obviously as well, but I think it's because they're trying to be something they're not, and like that's what pisses me off. Or the way that they present themselves is like incongruent with like what their product actually ends up being like. Glen Moray, I mean, look at the font on this dude. This looks like it's from like the 1980s. They're not trying to be anything they're not. They're not Dalmore. They're not running around with plastic stags on their bottles and, Richard Patterson telling everybody about how good the Dalmore whiskey is. I mean, fucking, they're just like, yeah, we made some whiskey. Check it out. I respect that. There's a utilitarian approach to this. Glenfarclas, oh, we're family this and family that, but it's like, yeah, but you know, almost your entire core range is shit. Other than that 15, which is only available over in goddamn UK, which is annoying. Okay, I'm gonna sit tight for a second, y'all. We are gonna do a whiskey sample tonight. I do want to get along to that. I just need to step away for a moment. Got to do the quick. I'll be right back. Hey, y'all. Thank you guys for waiting. Okay. Yeah. So, anyways, this Glen Moray Sherry, honestly, I'm just gonna give it a 3. It's an average whiskey. With the price, makes it average. I would maybe go a little bit lower if it was pricier. But this is a totally competent, if kind of thin and uninspiring sherry cask finish whiskey, but it's totally fine. And if somebody poured it for me, I wouldn't be too upset. All right. I got a sample. Well, I got a couple of them here. And I think the one that we are going to do tonight, not that one. I think it's this one. Nope. I didn't either. This is a sample. Fuck, where is it? Nope. Oh, here it is. This is a sample sent to me by Donner Pass Whiskey. So thank you, Donner. This is a Cadenhead's Tomatin, 10 years old, that sat for 47 hours in a PX barrel that he himself, the Donner Pass Whiskey, had a mini barrel of. So he's literally going to, he literally put this, this is it does not have the ABV on it. If he's still here, he might be able to tell us. But it is a Tomatin 10-year-old that he put in a mini PX barrel for 47 minutes. So I'm very eager to try this out. And I think this will be a good whiskey to try tonight with this sample that we just did of the Glen Moray. I don't know if any of y'all, but let me know in the chat. Have you ever done a little mini barrel, aged your own stuff? It can be kind of fun from what I hear. Waiting for the new Kilhelman SDR. I have to open that other one. I have that. I still haven't got to it yet. It's Naked Grouse. So the Naked Malt seems to replace the Naked Grouse. Fuck, I don't know. I mean, they are both naked. I mean, they are blended malts. I hope not, but I'm telling you, I still see this. And if you guys are right, then we should definitely get this shit for sure. Where can I get a Glentura 12? What up, Indy? Vancouver, how you doing? I do not know where you can find one of those, sir. Time to get into the ECB private barrel. 8-year-old, 62.6. Yes, let me know how that is. So Facebook post yesterday, guys in Ontario. Yamazaki 20. What is that thing going for? Like $400,000? Damn. Classic Easy BP, graham crackers, and then vanilla heavy. I picked up the GM 21. Didn't realize the 18-year-old was 47% and could have had a bottle of A1 21. GM21. I'm sorry if I might have missed something there, but Jack. Glen Moray? Glen Moray 21? Good to see Whiskey Lovers Society here. Yeah, I'm hoping it too, Matt, dude. I hope that's the case too. I mean, I can tell you right now, the Naked Grouse, as far as the one I have here, is 43%, and it's a blended malt. So it's a blended single malt. I can tell you that. We bash Glenfarclas out of love. They do so many things right. RERE use Cask just with them. Yes. Delmer and the Hand can suck it. Yeah, you're not lying there, Donner. Yeah, I just wish Glenfarclas would use better casks, because it's like, yeah, they got the whole, they got a great story. Just like Kilhoman, right? They're family owned, blah, blah, blah. I like that. But the problem with them is that their whiskey's just not very good unless you're going to pay top dollar for it. I have a 105 22-year-old that was 170 Canadian. The new Glenfarclas 185 was very reasonable. Glenfarclas 15. Those family casks are amazing. Yeah, that's the thing. The family casks are really amazing. I did get a bottle of the Glenfarclas 15 from the UK. So what folks who are not in the US don't understand is the Glenfarclas bottles that you get here in the US, you can get the 10, and even that's hard to find. The ones you really get, the 12, 17, 21, 25, all are bottled at 43%. And you can get the 105, but it's like $100. That 15, which is 46%, you got to get from the UK, and that one is quite good. But man, the ones here are weak. Gary, oh yeah. I know that's tonight. Well, I totally get it. Folks got to check that out. It's a lot going on. State of our union might be kind of strong, but I'm not so sure about some of our friends over in Ukraine. Fuck. Yeah. Not a good scene. You're going to watch it, but yeah, I'm going to do the same thing too. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get too into politics, but I mean, I will just say, I feel very bad and concerned and just heartbroken for what's happening to Ukraine, much like Yemen and Syria and other places. This is just an absolute devastating tragedy, and to see this all unfolding on live television again is reminding me of the Iraq War in 2003, and anyways, for those of you who have family or friends related to anybody that is over there, I do extend my very deepest thoughts to you and yours, because it is a really, really dangerous situation, and apparently not getting any better anytime soon. So solidarity with the people of Ukraine. All right. That Tomatin was the first one to go in the mini barrel. It had sit for a long time to integrate and not be over the top and top sweet PX. Okay. Do you recall, Donner, what the ABV was on that? Oh yeah, I would buy those for sure. Gary's heading out. Great to see you, Gary. And always good to have Gary in the house, man. Have a good rest of your evening. Muser. I have a small little cask that I kept in Amontillado sherry in for 6 months. I was thinking about putting the 1792 full proof in. That's an interesting idea. Yeah. Yeah, Cohen, I'm totally with you. I mean, even if you don't drink them, I mean, just give to people that you know to try to get into scotch. I mean, that's a great price, $27.99. I would buy it for sure. Matt D, Lagavulin 16 I'm having now is so inferior to the previous bottlings that it's scary. Ugh, that's awful. And the prices went up on those too, man. At least here in the States, they're like $100 now. It's crazy. Yeah, we don't get it here. I don't understand why. There's so many bottlings, Highland Park 12, Lefroy 10, which are bottled at 40% ABV in the UK, but 43% here. And yet the one good Glenfarclas, the 15. Wow, I think the one really good one is if at 46% we can't get in the States. Yeah, man, for real. It's it's like we're just getting out of this pandemic, and now this, it's just fucking one thing after the other. Mid-50s ABV. Okay, well, I got it in the glass right now. So this is a so as Donner Pass just mentioned, this is a Tomatin, 10 years old, bottled by Cadenheads in the mid-50 ABVs, and he had it sit in a PX sherry cask for a while. And the nose is amazing. I have not had the Glenturret. Coincidences, telex ever coming back in. So I think this was a couple weeks ago after this came up. I did reach out to him. I don't know. He's not anytime soon, is the way that he made it sound. He was doing some home remodeling, dealing with some stuff at home. He's not quite ready to start doing whiskey shows again. So I wouldn't expect any live content or any recorded content from Telex anytime soon. But he's not having health issues or anything. He's fine. He's doing fine as far as what he told me. He's just he's taken a hiatus, which we all can use sometimes. So yeah, no, I wouldn't expect anything from him anytime soon. And if he does, you'll probably, if you're subscribed, which I would encourage folks to do, you'll get a notification on that. I'll tell you right now, this is a fantastic nose. Tomatin is not a distillery I'm incredibly familiar with, but the PX notes on this are just killer. And Donner Pass, just for folks who are curious, would you mind sharing a little bit about the process of like what you did here? Because I think, some of us, including myself, to be honest, would be really interested in like how you went about pulling a barrel together, one of these mini barrels. What did it cost? And then like you seasoned it yourself, clearly. Like, how did that process all work? Because it smells damn delicious. And the color, I mean, come on. This was probably all bourbon cask before. I'm going to go in for a taste now. I can't guarantee that every week, but I've definitely been going over an hour because, I will mention for folks, since we're at the 1 hour mark, Patreons, keep an eye on your email inboxes tomorrow. You will be getting advance early release of my latest full whiskey review, which is the Old Forester Birthday Bourbon 2021. So a fancy ass bourbon. I have put together a nice review of that. That'll be in your email boxes. It is going to drop live on YouTube for everybody on Friday, so keep an eye out for that. I also want to mention that probably in the next week or two, and I will try to give folks a heads up if I can. I have a blind tasting samples from SMWS bottlings, courtesy of our great friend of the show and Patreon supporter, Daniel. He and I, and it's long overdue, we have discussed we're going to do a live show we're going to have him on the program here, and we're going to do a tasting of this. I will try to give folks a heads up on that. We're going to try and schedule it in advance, but that should be a lot of fun. Okay. When did Bearded Riek start acting like Macallan? Their higher age stuff and single cast have jumped the shark. I don't know. I mean, they're owned by Rachel Berry, or they're owned by the same people. Rachel Berry's their person now, and she's the one that's neutering Glendronach right now, as far as what I understand. So that's Sadly, I don't know if it's surprising, right? It's unfortunate, but I don't know if it's surprising. You guys, I have a previous promise to go support a new Scotch YouTuber for her first live stream. Yeah, good to see you, Daniel, and take care. Be well. Hope to see Telex soon, which introduced me to Malt. Oh, right on, man. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you right now, like the weekly shows where Telex and I were doing the Telex Malt show, like that is definitely done. We may do some spot, like, a couple times a year reviews when he's back up and wanting to do whiskey stuff. But, as far as stuff that he's going to be doing on his channel, he's going to be doing some things in another direction. It's unclear when that's going to happen. He, from what he told me, he's not ready to be, or he's not really planning on doing anything anytime soon. He's been dealing with a lot of stuff on his home front, getting his house remodeled, just, taking a break. He's taking a break. So hopefully we'll see him back. And he may be doing his own live show. Don't know what his format is planning to be, but it's nothing like personal between he and I. We just kind of decided, like, we had a good run. We had a very, Telex and I have known each other for a long time. We kind of put that show together as a COVID thing. And, 3 hour look, man, I mean, 3 hours of whiskey chat on a Tuesday night every week is not as easy as it may look. It was fun. And I definitely, and he knows it, and it's just as well as I do. Like, we always have extended invitations to each other. We'll probably do some tastings here and there together. And if I hear anything else, I'll keep you guys posted. So I did share your guys' interest in what he was up to and well wishes as well. So he is aware of that. Hey, Milkman's Kid. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. I did not buy it. It was given to me as a gift on my 40th birthday, which was in November. And yeah, of course, in theory, I would have sold it, but it was my birthday, so we drank a bunch of it. That's the only reason I have it. Yeah, I hear you, man. Look, if I ever came across a bottle of that at MSRP, I would flip it so fast. It is damn good. The videos Jeremy Sipper's Social Club did cover it. User's Guide had PX Sherry. Oh, okay. Good to know. Hey, Aaron Hardiman's here. Good to see you, Aaron. Great to see you. This is the art bag. Just had a tasting of Corey Vrecken the other day. Oh, yeah, Corey Vrecken. I think Rachel Berry gets a lot of unfair criticism. She did a great job turning around Bowmore and Glen Getty in the 2000s. Both are now turning out vastly improved quality. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely true. However, she has seemed to be the point person overseeing some questionable directions with Ben Riech and Glendronach. And where was she before that? Which was another place that was a little questionable. I think that she's she's been very visionary for sure. And I just think that, she's been kind of in this position of making some or supporting some choices that are clearly anathema to what a lot of folks want to see. But yeah, by no means do I want to single her out specifically as being a bad actor. I mean, I just think that she's reading the tea leaves like a lot of these companies are. She just has a higher profile status, so she gets more attention. Yeah, I mean, it's sad. They're chill filtering their whiskey now. I'm sure that's probably true. Yeah, I think I once described that as a hive of hornets attacking my tongue. That stuff is so intense. I love it. I'm more of an Oogie fan, if you're going to ask me between the two. For me, it goes 10, Oogie, Corey Vrecken, and then everything else Ardbeg makes is probably not necessarily needing to be bought, but there you go. That sounds good. Hey, beaming the signal from Delhi, India. It's Kapil. What's up, brother? Good to see you, sir. So I am drinking a Tomatin 10 from Cadenheads, which is an independent bottler. They, if you don't know, are an independent bottler owned by Springbank. Makers of fine integrity single malt whiskeys. And I will tell you right now, with the special added maturation of 47 hours in a PX cask seasoned by a friend of the show, Donner Pass Whiskey, and Patreon supporter, this is a delightful dram. Interesting. I believe independent bottlers are the way to go from on. I don't disagree with you, man. For me, it's a little bit of a struggle, right? Like I feel like as somebody who's doing these videos all the time, I do want to present an even-handed approach to things. I don't want to become one of these people that's either only doing whiskeys that people can't get, or whiskeys that are like hard to find, or whiskeys that are too expensive. And so I'm trying to keep a nice balance, and while I personally am at a stage in my journey where I feel like independent bottlings are something I'm spending increasingly more attention on, and usually what I'm looking at more than other things, I am pushing myself to continue to buy some of the distillery bottlings, because I mean, obviously, yes, there are a bunch of good ones out there, but also I want to keep tasting whiskeys and providing a show and review content that's going to be accessible to everybody as much as possible. And it's not going to please everybody all the time. Some people take things in a very specific direction. I'm trying to be kind of broad with it, but I do. As far as the money I spend, if I was just buying things to drink, that's what I would do. And so I agree with you, Peter White. Do a weekly Quig and Malt show? I don't know. Quig's got a very different work schedule than I do, but that would be pretty fun. Quig and I did just get together recently. If folks want to check it out, it was last week. He and I have been doing shows for years. We do a couple a year. Maybe we could figure out a way to do some more. That could be fun. Thanks for the idea, Cone. Yeah, she's an employee of Brown-Forman. Billy Walker was the owner and could do what he wanted. Brown-Forman has a reputation for train wrecking distilleries. Yeah, it seems to be the case, right? Although they haven't train wrecked Old Forester. Old Forester is like one of the few bourbons I really love. Anyone familiar with Kalen know anything about the Redacted Brothers, Thompson Brothers bottlings? I was looking at it. 1989, not Jen Isla, evidently low for it. Cohen, James Chang, if either of you two are in the house, Donner Pass, they would be the folks to talk to about that. It's probably $100 on straight because it's so ridiculous on there. Oh, for like 10 for all, yeah. Oh, fuck. Man, I don't know if I can do that. That's a lot. I mean, it's a lot just to do an hour. Let me tell you, it's like you got to figure out what you're going to do every week, plus record your live recording videos for Fridays. I'm not complaining, but I clearly enjoy it. I like hanging out with you guys. I've learned more about whiskey from the whiskey community than I'll ever be able to teach anybody. But yeah, it's just fun. But it doesn't, it's not haphazard, And I don't even like hyper produce. I mean, you see some of these folks who do whiskey videos or any videos on YouTube from they're like way about production and like making ridiculous graphics and doing all sorts of they're like prim and polished. I do try to keep it, stripped down to the essence as much as I can. I'm never going to be a over the top prim and proper because I'm a I learned from Talix. I learned from Food Quig. I learned from those Ralphie. Those are the people that I single malt review. Like those are the folks that really inspired me to do this in the first place. And I kind of have tried to follow their style. Anyways, this Cadenheads is fantastic. And I go so far as to say I really want to get a mini barrel and season it myself and age some whiskey in it. So, Donner Pass, this has been a really quite a treat to taste these. I mean, this Tomatin 10 that you put in this PX, the PX flavor in this is so nice and strong, and man, it's just delicious. I'm loving it. Fantastic stuff. I have not had much tomatin, whatever, and otherwise, but this is really damn good. Really enjoying it. Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick nightcap dram. I don't know, it's something peated probably. Let's see. I think next week we're going to be doing an Ardmaturin. I probably butchering that. I can't guarantee it, but I think that's the thing we're going to do next week. Yeah. You know what? Maybe I will just let me see what I got here. Yeah, let's do this. No, the ABV is too low. Dude, it is. Yeah, it's a serious PX bomb. Quiggy is awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's the best, man. I love the Quig. Can't you become like the vomit that is its bourbon? Yeah. I don't have those types of ambitions to be quite like what they're doing. Or the whiskey. What are those guys down in Texas? That's not really why I ever started doing this, nor does it my reason for doing this every day. My reason for doing it was just to learn about whiskey and talk whiskey with people. It's not a business for me. 60 Hertz, what up? Hey everyone, just ordered the Benromic Contrast Peated Sherry. You made a very, very good decision doing that, sir. That is a fan-fucking-tastic whiskey. And I'm glad you just said that because that's the whiskey I'm going to pour right now. So a couple weeks ago, folks, if you didn't catch the live stream, I uncorked and drank this absolutely stunningly delicious dram. Benromic Contrast Peat Smoke Sherry Cask Matured. 46% non-chill filtered, natural color. Bing, bang, boom. It's peated. It's delicious. It's going to be the nightcap tonight. 60 Hertz. Thank you for mentioning this. Oh, as you can see, in just a few short nights, I mean, I'm well past the neck on this one now. What a damn good whiskey. This, I'll tell you right now, and I think I was even saying this in last. This, if this shows up in my top 5 whiskeys of the year video, don't be surprised. It's fantastic, earthy, peaty, great balance, unique, just killer stuff. Yeah. Man, that's good. And it's at such a great price. It's like, what, $60, something like that? Man, that's good. I'll be really interested. You let me know, man, when you get your hands on that. And have a few samples. Pop on the live show. Let us know. We'll be curious to hear how it landed with you, man. Quig was the first live I ever watched. Went down the rabbit hole of lives. Not really only watching her. I appreciate that, Chris. Yeah, that's exactly what it was for me. I mean, he and I started chatting after I was in his live streams talking for a while. I think the first live stream he and I did was, like 2017, 2018, maybe. He was the first guest I ever had on the show. And we have a good friendship. We share, we send each other samples. I just did a unboxing with some samples of his last week. And then, an hour into the show, he joined. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, we do like 2 or 3 times a year. We do a live stream, but some folks are saying maybe he'd be interested in doing more lives. Maybe we could do something more scheduled. I don't know. The cacao, I tasted it. A friend of mine had it. It's pretty good, but with Macallan's, probably not worth drinking. They've apparently turned it into a full-time job and are using the channel to market their own picks. I was thinking 5 years ago when they were still trying to get their. He was still trying to get. You're talking about the way it's the bourbon night, people. I have a bottle, but I've not opened it, man. I couldn't tell you, but I would get it. I don't think it'll be bad. That's the Bordeaux one, right? Yeah, I'd grab it. I would grab it. Oh, okay. New Zealand, man. Great to see you, man. All the way from New Zealand. That's rad. And I do love the Ninja Gaiden avatar you have. Rad, dude. I know about Ryu Hayabusa. I remember that. Yeah. Matt D's out, man. Good to see you, Matt. Get some good sleep, man. Matt joining us from Sweden, man. Great to see you. I hit a fork in my road, my Scotch hiking trail about a year or so ago, listening to Telex, the trailhead. With my grandpa sipping a Ballantyne's blended night. Nice. Nice, man. Well, I'm going to be really excited when you get your hands on this, man. This is a damn good whiskey. Ben Romick. I started getting turned on to them last year. I am still really, really enjoying their whiskeys now. I have a bunch that I've not even opened yet. Their 21 is really good. Their 15 is killer. Really great whiskey. Their standard 10, nothing to sneeze at, even at 43%. Good stuff. But this contrast peat smoke sherry, now it is not the cask strength that it used to be, but it's still just absolute killer. I am a huge fan of this whiskey. All right. Just killer stuff. Okay, y'all. Look, it's been a lot of fun. I cannot go much longer this evening, but like, comment, subscribe if you've not. I do appreciate it. Every little thing goes a long way. If you want to join on Patreon, it is patreon.com/maltmuserwhiskey. You get early reviews of whiskeys. All of my reviews get leaked earlier to folks on Patreon. We're also in raffles for samples that show up at your doorstep, courtesy of me. And this Friday, for folks, just so you're aware, review will be Old Forester Birthday Bourbon 2021. So we are going to be checking out a bourbon, and it's a good video. It's a damn good bourbon. I appreciate that a lot, man. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I hope to keep seeing you around, man. I hope you can keep joining these shows. These are a lot of fun, and glad to have you in the chat. So super cool that you've been able to join the journey with all of us, which is what we're all on in some way, shape, or form. So, okay, y'all. With that, raise a glass for the people in Ukraine. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that other than hoping for the absolute best. Much love to you and yours. Everybody stay safe, be well. Next Tuesday, we will have another live Tasty Tuesday because that's how we roll here on Malt Music Whiskey Reviews. Check out that review on Friday. And with that, I'll catch you all later. Sláinte.